Scottie, what are you looking forward to most? I know the season just ended, but we just had Brandon in here, and just wondering what you're excited about for next year.
I want to start off by thanking all the fans. They showed their love and support throughout the whole entire season. But through the bad moments, good moments, they were here for us, cheering loud and proud. So I just want to thank the best fans in the world for that. But repeat that question again for me.
We just had Brandon in here, and I know the season's just over, but are you already kind of excited for next year and what could be?
For sure. Being with these guys every single day this season and seeing the progress that we made each and every single game, seeing people get better day in, day out, seeing how close we are, it just makes me super excited. I think if you seen my face last year throughout this time, I don't think I was probably looking the right way. But, I'm pretty excited for what this team holds and what we're going to grow into. We have a lot of great pieces on this team, and we're going to add another great piece. So I'm super excited for what we got started. It's only the beginning, and, I see this team going a long way next year.
This was supposed to be a rebuilding year for the Raptors. Does it feel like the team has been rebuilt? Does it feel like a lot of turnover and you're ready for next year?
I love our team. We got a lot of great pieces. So I feel like we got what it takes. We got a great young core. Starting five's gonna look crazy next year. We're still gonna add, like I said, we're still gonna add some talent. But with the things that we got in place, with our foundation and how we want to play, and the side of the defensive end, how we want to guard and disrupt teams, it all fits what we want. So we have the pieces, and we just gotta make it happen.
Do you have any personal goals for next year, like all defense team? Just is there anything you want out of next year as an individual?
I feel like I'm an all defensive team type of player. But once those wins come with it, that's how your name get in those conversations. So once we start winning, my name's gonna be in a lot more conversations. So time that all that stuff is gonna come. But me personally, I just want to go out there and be consistent every single night. This year, I really had the ball in my hands a lot, where I was able to make those decisions, work on my game, and test things out. So that was good for me. So I know what I want to do. I envision myself of how physical, how strong I can be, attacking, create angles, get into different spaces, and how I'm be able to initiate the offense, creating. Next year you just got to go out there and put it on.
Based off the sorry.
Damn. But like I say, yeah.
Okay, now, based off the testing and experimenting you've had to do this year, if you're looking back at your season, is there anything you're trying to do this summer to work and fine tune your game?
Like I said, I was working on my game. You see, throughout different times in the seasons, you see I was working on, different things. Some games, some stretches throughout the season, you see me working on playing a lot in the mid-range, working on phase, getting to the middies, shooting pull-ups. Different times of the season, you saw me attacking, really aggressive, getting to the rim, playmaking. Just about how am I going to insert that in every single game, do those things. Can't go away from it. Of course, shooting was a problem for me this year. And then once that comes together, it's just going to make things take off even more. So, all the experimenting or whatever, it was just about, it was my first year, having the ball in my hands for real. And then, just find out what's going to work for me. So throughout the summer, just keep taking those things and then, keep finding ways on how I'm going to be able to attack, get to the rim, and then, of course, just keep working on my shot.
And to that point about experimenting a lot, finding out what's going to work for you, what did you find out?
I'm able to get to my spots. I'm able to play out of the post if I want to. Play at the top, pick and roll. I'm able to find those mismatches, but I'm also be able to attack downhill. No matter if it's going to my left, going to my right, working on moves to create that space and attacking, blowing by the defender, making that next read from there. And not shying away from that physicality. Be more dominant. Wasn't as dominant as I would like to be, but be more dominant, being more physical, using my body more than I was.
You obviously didn't get a chance to play with Brandon this season, but what excites you about pairing you two guys together next year?
I love the pass, to be honest. That's what I always done. So I love playing with people that really know how to score the ball, and Brandon's a person that he really knows how to score the ball, shoots really well, be able to get to the spots. It's just going to open the floor way more. So I'm super excited to see how he's going to go into our offense, and I want to see him flourish. I'm really excited to see it, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm super excited getting into next year.
It seems like he's really absorbing. Sorry. Go ahead. It seems like he's really absorbing what you guys want to do here. Like he was just talking about like he wants to even pass more, even though he's a scorer, and also just he didn't know how intense everyone was defensively, and he really wants to bring that as well. Is that encouraging to hear that he's already looking to do that?
For sure. That's our offense. We every game, we're focusing on how many assists we can get, but it just comes in the natural of the game. So I'm sure it's just going to encourage him to be able to do that more. But we're all going to challenge him each and every single day when we're in practice, when we're out there on the floor. We're going to challenge him offensively to make those right reads and defensively. We know he can do that. He's been saying he's ready to do it, and we're ready to see him do that. He's just keep bonding with him, keep trusting him with him, keep connecting with him, and we believe in him 100%.
Scottie, at the beginning of the season, I remember I asked you what type of leader do you want to be, and if there's any players that you kind of even model your leadership after. But now that the season's done, what are your takeaways from kind of stepping into that true role of being a leader of a franchise, and what did you learn?
Just being with these guys every single day. Talking, communicating, building trust, building actual friendships. I think once you get to know these guys like I do, it just makes it easy to be able to be someone that can lead for them. Going out there every single game, just trying to put my body on the line, just to fight with these guys. I genuinely love these guys. Being with them every single day, that's the worst part about having the season end so early, that you can't be with them every single day like how we accustomed to being. But these guys just make it easy for me to lead. We play so hard throughout the game. We're so intense. We all are able to communicate and talk with each other throughout these moments. Off the floor, we're talking, smiling, It just makes it so fun. So they make it super easy for me.
Scottie, in terms of your off-season plan, how much have you thought about where you're actually going to be? Are you going to spend a lot of time in Toronto, go back to Florida? Sort of what's your schedule going to look like in that sense?
I think that's that's what me and the team, we're going to figure that out, what I'm going to be able to do, what I'm doing. That's what we're going to talk about.
A lot of experimentation this season and over the course of your career. Even Masai last year said you made the all-star jump quicker than he would have expected. Are you a different player than you thought you would be when you got drafted? Have you developed in ways that have surprised yourself?
For sure. I think one thing about me, I don't really go into situations and really expect certain things. You know, when I first joined the league, I was just coming from college. You know, I was just super happy to be in the NBA. You know, I was blessed. But, you know, you see my game is just constantly evolving. I'm constantly getting better. I'm still getting bigger and stronger. You know, it's fun. I enjoy it. You see me working on getting to my spots. I'm becoming more of a offensive threat than I ever was. So that's where my game is just gonna keep constantly evolving on that offensive end. You know, I'm always be a pest on the defensive end. I'm always play super hard. I'm always guard. That's what I was started off to be in the NBA for, where I was on the map for. But my offensive game is just constantly growing. So, you know, it's still a work in progress where I can just keep developing and keep getting better.
Back to the communication aspect of leadership and all of that, you've obviously come very far as a vocal leader, as a public speaker. Can you speak to kind of what you've done specifically to be able to build those skills that honestly have nothing really to do with basketball and are more about engaging with the community, with the fans, with your teammates?
That's just something I just wanted to get better at. I think our team has helped me with that as well. Being able to, you know, speak and being confident in speaking. Something that I worked on in the summer. I had someone to help me with it. But, you know, it just gives me more confidence, you know, more things to talk about, more things where I want to get my message out rather than, you know, creating agendas. So, you know, being more confident, knowing what I'm talking about, and getting what I want to say out.
Scottie, a bunch of rookies in this year obviously displayed a lot of growth at the start of the season and the end. Is it energizing for you just as like a leader of the team to see this kind of infusion of young guys, and what were your impressions of the way they kind of expanded their games over the course of the year?
Our rookies was phenomenal. I think everyone's seen that we had a great last draft class. I think we, you know, Bobby and Masai we trust. You know, they did a great job of finding these guys and putting those guys into our system, and it just fit perfectly. They really embraced what we really wanted to do here in Toronto, and they immediately brought the impact throughout this whole entire season. You know, they were impressive each and every single game. In aspects that you don't see rookies doing that from the jump right away. So super impressed with those guys. And they were amazing. They helped our team out so much, and they helped this team grow farther than what we expected to grow. I feel like they were one of the main fronts of building this team and how we're growing so fast.
Scottie, what are your expectations for this team next season?
My expectations for the team next season. I expect us to do really good. For sure, get into the playoffs. And make a great run. With the team that we have, there's no excuses. We should definitely be in the playoffs and make a good run for ourselves.
Scottie, how closely in the past few years since you got drafted have you been following that draft process? And obviously people kind of have their eyes on this team and where they could end up in the draft lottery.
I think just knowing basketball and just being a fan of basketball and loving the game. Of course, you're just gonna watch basketball. Of course, I watch the NBA, but I have guys that's still in college that I know, and then you just still see stuff online in the media. But for sure, you see those, you know, top guys and see the things that they do. You see some stars that's under the map in college as well. That's really good. But of course, you know, you see certain type of people that you think will fit the team and see what they do out there on the floor, and you know, you take notice of that.
Just want to ask about the shooting this year. I mean, I think obviously with the hand affecting things, wanted to know how did the hand affect sort of the shooting, and also just the type of work that you plan to continue putting into your shooting and that routine.
I think the main thing for my hand, it just needs some rest. That's the main thing for it. But, you know, it affected it where I can't really feel the ball I can't really grip the ball as I'm accustomed to gripping it. So that's really the main thing. Sometimes it can't get the same follow through. So it impacted the way, but you know, it is what it is.
It's Damon Stoudemire, and thanks for watching the Toronto Raptors YouTube channel. Check out our latest videos and subscribe for more.
Stoudemire launches a three, knocks it in. Stoudemire. Yes! What a David Stoudemire